Building healthy habits, discovering practical tips for healthy living. So, welcome to this next week, which is week 46 of the Wellness Wednesday. And it's this journey that we're all on of trying to have a better life. So, today we're talking about building healthy habits, and we're looking forward to having a wonderful discussion. So, I'd like to just go around the room and find out what is it that that you would like to get out of today's discussion. And we'll start with you, Patty. What would you like to get out of today's discussion?
Well, as always, I love the connection, of course, every week. And I'm curious. I'm curious about the habits people build and if I can learn some new habits that I can add to my own habits.
Thank you so much for that. And then, Will, what would you like to get out of today?
We all think we all have our own habits. We all think most of them are healthy for us, but it's sort of like Patty said, insight into habits that are probably more healthier for us, and hearing what everyone else's habits are and how they feel that they're healthy in their lives.
Thank you for that. And Matthew, what would you like to get out of today?
I just tuning in just to listen and see what the content is about, and you never know where the conversation might get to. I have a tree surgeon on my. I was going to say property. It's just a house with a garden, not like crystals, but there's a bit of noise in the background. They've got the shredder going.
So
I figured out your accent, Stephen. Now, not the location, but who it sounds like. Have you ever seen Better Call Saul? The
Is it
brother.
Saul? Oh, that's lovely. Thank you for that. Yeah, and Zoom is beautiful about filtering out sounds, so we don't hear any of that background sound. True. What would you like to get out of today?
Well, I'm curious. It's very easy to build bad habits. Why is it not easy to build good habits? What's the difference?
Oh, lovely, lovely thought. And Paul, what would you like to get out of today?
Love that question, Ruth. I was sitting here thinking about we all have bad habits. So how do we hack the bad ones and make the best of the good ones? So yeah, just curious about the discussion and happy to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful. And Jan, what would you like to get out of today?
I think I'm looking for ideas and thoughts that people have working with people on their health. I'm always looking for helpful ways to help them, change habits and try to incorporate more health and wellness into their daily routines.
Thank you for that. And we also have Ali is here and Miriam is here. And if you guys would like to either come on camera or even just unmute and share, anything that you would like to get out of today, or you could put it in the chat. That all of those is welcome. And Crystal, what would you like to get out of today?
Paul kind of hit on mine, the whole getting rid of bad habits, but also forming new habits, like making more content and stuff especially when starting new endeavors like my YouTube page and stuff. Kind of just want to learn little bits because my page is more about mental health and stuff, and forming better habits and goals is part of what I want to have in my content. So
Thank you so much for that. And it's this idea that what I would like to get out of today is to learn how we can strengthen the habits that are healthy, right? To learn what those are and be okay with not having those as strong as maybe some of the bad habits, right? to slowly increase those over time. So welcome, Ali. What would you like to get out of today?
Well, I need to unmute because I am in a noisy environment, but I'm willing to see. I've no expectations, so I'm really go to the flow and see what's going on. Oh, thank you.
So we don't hear any of the background noise. Zoom is exceptional at filtering out
Amazing.
a lot of this. So yes. While we have everybody on camera here, or the majority on camera, do you mind if we just take a quick family picture? So on the count of three, everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And I got it. So, and we still have more people coming in, so we may need to take another one later on. Hey, MJ, welcome. MJ, we just went around and had the discussion or had the question of what would you like to get out of today? So, would you be comfortable in unmuting, and then what would you like to get out of today about the discussion about building healthy habits?
Good morning or good afternoon, where everybody is. Yeah, I would really just like to hear any tidbits that other people would like to share. And I'm really on a journey to getting back into better, healthy habits myself. So I'm just open to hearing what everybody is going to be sharing today. So I'm looking forward to that.
Perfect. So I'm just trying to save my picture before I lose it. Somehow or other, with the new version of Windows, it doesn't automatically save the snapshot. And so I have to make sure that I save it before I go to the next level. So we're going to go into breakout rooms and have the discussion. The things that we're trying to grow on and to expand on within the Wednesday Wellness series, there's a couple things. That this is everything about what we do is skill development. And so for the people that are new, and even for us that are old, we want to practice this skill of empathic listening, right? What that means is it's not judging what somebody says. It's not having really anything more than trying to hear what they're saying and reflecting back to them what it is that you hear. And so as a speaker, when you're speaking this, one of the things that we can do is we can speak in smaller segments so that someone could reflect back what they're hearing you say. There's something about that skill that's effective because it allows us to bring in chunk size bits what it is that we're trying to say. So we have a little bit of a chance to think about that and then share it. So what we want to talk about first is what is our foundation in healthy habits, right? What is our foundation? What is it that we believe? What was modeled for us? And I like what MJ said. So instead of, because she said it's tenured instead of old, I like that. And then also I would expand upon that to be more ingrained, right? More practice habits, whatever you might want to call it. Bakari, hello, my friend. Welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah, hello, thank you. I was struggling to find it for quite 10 minutes because today's my second time. So I was hoping that I would see the live. So I had to research. So I went down and I checked because when I said I didn't know how it works. I thought I would have got notification or something like that. But it's good to be here. Thank you.
So
I hope you're all doing well.
we just asked the question, what would you like to get out of today? So so today is about building healthy habits. What would you like to get out of today's experience?
Today, again, this is the philosophy I've embraced. So what I'm expecting to realize here is a sense of realization of the person I am, and that sense of being together and realize the inner greatness within. So that's what I'm expecting. Because the last time when I was here, I said the question you asked, I said for me it's about exploration. So I think for me every day is exploration. So that's the case. I don't know. I always say to people, we can have the vision about what we want to achieve in life, but the divinity, the creator of the universe or humanity, has different plans for us. So therefore, we have an aim, and then the steps that we take meditation can lead us to that place of realization. And then, so that's why I embrace exploration, because you can never realize greatness beyond your potential, beyond your comfort zone until you explore. Thank you. So that's the mindset. So what I'm trying to accomplish today is again a sense of it's about exploration and that sense of my individual greatness.
Well, I love that. We have two more beautiful smiles to add to our. So, do you mind if we take the picture again? Because we have two more to add. And so on the count of three, 1, 2, 3, real big smile. 1, 2, 3. And thank you so much. You know, it's nice to see our group growing, and we have such a diversity of insights and beliefs. So it's wonderful. So again, we'll practice that empathic listening, practice at really intentional speaking. What is it that you would like to share? So we're going to go out into the breakout rooms. The discussion is going to be about what is your foundation in this concept of healthy beliefs. So what can you do that will help you with that? So, and we'll just do a quick discussion, maybe 6 to 7 minutes. Will?
Mm-hmm. Mariam, are you able to join a breakout room today?
Yes, I
And
will.
okay, I'll send you to room 4 because I wasn't sure. And Mary Jane, you're staying in the main room with Stephen.
And it's the do you think the question was clear enough?
It was a bit long, but that's all right. I'm going to go join. Actually, I might join that one. Oh, okay. I'm going to lock now, Stephen.
You can leave it open. It doesn't matter.
Sorry, I'm back. Sorry, I cut off by accident.
Oh, that's no worries. So I don't know if Will has you assigned to a room or not.
No, I can't now.
You can stay in the main room. Miriam's by herself. Oh no, she's with Paul. We're good. We can
Yeah.
we've got the two of you could jump into a room if you want, or
No, I'll leave.
stay here for this discussion either way.
I will join. I'm going. Right, there we go.
All right. So MJ, what
Yes.
what's your foundation in just this concept of healthy habits?
I assumed we were talking about healthy habits in overall terms, just whether it be physical well-being, mental well-being. Was that correct in the question or understanding the question?
It's however you want to take it. It's this
Okay.
idea of, what can we do to be a little bit healthier? What can we do and I always view it from mind, body, and a spiritual perspective.
Yes. So yeah, for me, I well, I've been doing it for quite some time, but I continue to do yoga. Hopefully, as the weather is improving here, I'm hoping to do some more walking because I really find being out in nature really helps me from both a physical and a mental and emotional point of view. It's just a thing. And then for just mental health and well-being, it's for me, it's I do my mantra meditations. I have a class that I do a couple times a week, and then I try to do some meditation in between and journaling and stuff. So it's just I try to look after all aspects of the thing, and then I've been conscious of the things that eating and more healthy things that way as well. So just kind of bring it a thing, but just to bring it more into full circle of those things, bringing everything together. So it's just it's a practice, of course, Some days I succeed and some days I don't. So, as it is.
I think that, you know, that for myself, it's the same process of being a little bit gentler on myself when I'm not achieving the goals that I want to, but also strengthening that and realizing that, you know, as long as we're on a trajectory of getting better, then things are in a good space. And when we're talking about spiritually, it's always one of the things that I kind of laugh at is, you know, those things that we believe to be true are the biggest bias that we can possibly have. Because, you know, it's like
Yes.
we have no reason to question it. We have no reason. It's like everybody else is wrong because it's the truth. And then we realize that, oh, that's actually such a place for blindness or, you know, to be deceived.
Hmm.
So, how about for
So
you,
true.
Buckery? What is your concept of this healthy habits and things, the basis of it?
Yeah, thank you for the question, and also for me to be here. It's a blessing because of you. Um, and you said it in a nutshell, uh, uh, about the spirituality, the mentality that we have. So, and then I would like to, if you give me a minute, for me to draw your attention. If you remember, when I think the first time you had me spoke, or maybe we were on the same LinkedIn audio room, and then I mentioned about God, and you sent me a message, personal message, and that message, and when I responded to you, it just again resonates with what you said, because we have this perception of spirituality. We believe this, and then we expect everyone to believe, and then eventually realize that what we believe is not actually reality of other people, something like that. So I understand where you were coming from when you question you ask. So many people, whenever I reference the Bible and I talk about God, because I remember I was sharing that I woke up and I prayed to God, and you were curious, and then perhaps you must have had um, mixed perception. Perhaps you think I might be wrong, but you think my definition of God is to do with the notions of society, and in my upcoming book, it's different. Explain that, and that's the life I live. And as I remember when I shared, I come from a family background as a child, Muslim background, and then I dreamt of Christ twice. And then I thought, this is something I included in a book I'm about to release. I dreamt of Christ twice over 7 years ago. And then my limited mindset, just like what you said, spirituality, I thought that dream was for me to become Christian. So I pursued Christianity. Upon sitting in my living room, because of the sense of critical thinking and that divinity of God I discovered within me, I questioned the Bible when I raised my hands when they said that you read people wanted to give their lives to Christ when I was pursuing Christianity. And then I left in my hands. I've got the Bible. The Bible is in my bedroom. I was given the Bible. And then I was one of the people that we took at the back of the building of the church to baptize. And I was the only person that refused to baptize. And that was not my understanding. And then again, from within, then you understand my story. So I said I accepted to follow Christ. I accepted to be Christian, but I will not baptize. I still need to know. And that's when it meditates. So I still need to know, to seek to know. And then for whatever reason, this pastor and the person who invited me to church, they had interest in me. They had several meetings and they gave me the Bible. And I insisted, I said, no. Long story short. And then I questioned that. One day I was reading after several months. And then I said, who is King James, the Bible? And then I started to study about Christianity. And then I realized that the mindset that I thought was Christianity and what people are doing, it goes against the principles of Christ. Now that dream and my understanding now, I said, is for me to study the Bible, because the Bible, when you look at the Bible, look at inspirational speakers, motivational people, there is inspirational. You have stories there to learn, to teach yourself. So I don't see it as the religious book. I see it as a book of inspiration that bridge people from destruction to salvation. So, and it also talks about meditation. So as a result of that, again, Christ once said the kingdom of man is within it. So that dream for me was revelation, was spiritual, but that's my understanding. So people think I'm Christian. I said, I am not Christian. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And,
But
you know, and
our religion is humanity.
right. And what's interesting is that it's the people that don't have an answer for their faith that, you know, they believe it, but it's a fragile little ecosystem. And what will happen is if you bring up a challenge or a question, sometimes they'll be angry with you. And it's not that that there's anything wrong with them. It's just that they don't know how to defend what it is that they believe, and they're afraid that they may fall away from something that they're taught that they need to believe. So it's easier for them to just defend it with anger rather than trying to understand. And you're so articulate. You're such a deep thinker. I've got somebody that I want to introduce you to that challenges openly. I mean, he's just like almost like the same dialogue, and the two of you would have wonderful discussion on philosophy and belief. And he has the same thing. It's like he's an atheist. Well, I'm not sure he's an atheist. Probably an agnostic more, but he works at the church, and he's got such an in-depth view of the Bible that they love to have him around. He's a very smart person. He's very talented at what he does. But he's kind of an enigma for them. They don't know what to do with him because he knows the Bible inside and out. But he's like, when they say something, he's just questioning them. It's like, oh, okay, this is what you say here, but I don't understand that there's something conflicting over here.
Absolutely. And this is the thing again, because again, that's why they need meditation. For me, that's why, because what I'm attracted to this. I could have been doing something to attract money, right? But if you look at the Bible, it tells you that what's the point of profit the world and you lose your soul.
Yeah.
So we pursue frustrations outside and this meditation here, and we're talking about healthy living. And as a result of that, God, now as a result of that, we're talking about healthy living. So I use a holistic approach. So yeah, just like the story I told you about inside the food I eat. If you get to know me, I'm exercising. I do exercise. I eat. I fast. I chose my own religion. This for me to be it's part of my individual religious and practice. So I incorporate everything, and it's very challenging. Sometimes you be naughty and everything, but we cannot become successful in life without gaining success, the whole body, the mind, the soul, the spirit. So eating habits, watch what you eat.
Well, that's lovely.
Thank you.
Everyone will be back in about 42 seconds. You know, and I believe that that's something that's quite powerful. Did you have anything to add, MJ, in the last 30 seconds?
Not really, but it's always interesting to hear different perspectives, and I agree. It's like there's so many conflicting information that you get from, I it's this, but sometimes it's this. Well, like, okay, well, which thing is it? Because I'm always interested in knowing what the kernel of truth is in the nugget of truth that's in whatever those nuances are that people bring into their belief, I guess. So it's interesting.
No, that's wonderful. So everyone's coming back. While we have Will making up the next breakout rooms, we're going to mix it all up and ask another question. Does anyone have anything that they would like to share? Any insights come up in the last room? Jan just shared. Thank you so much, Matthew. So it's lovely when there is a nice conversation, new friends that are made within a breakout room. The next question is going to be determining what's this obstacle we have for achieving a healthy habit. So in your mind, create one healthy habit goal that you would like to implement in your life and think about, okay, what is an obstacle that you have in achieving that? So just a quick discussion about pick any one health goal. We had the idea of, what area are we talking about? And I think it can be one of three things. It can be either your mind, body, or spirit, right? So you can have a health goal related to your mental wellness. You can have a health goal related to your physical body, or you can have a health goal related to your spiritual wellness, right? How, what that existential thing is that we have. So again, it's going to be what one goal would you like to implement or achieve in your life? It could be on the short term, and then what's the obstacle that you have in achieving it? So I'm going to randomly pick on one person to share, and I know that Matthew is our new person to the group, and I'm going to put you on the spot. What was that experience like for you? What came up for you in that first room?
Yeah, it was interesting. We talked about a good few different things, and I think one of the things that came out of it was just noticing the good or the bad, or the way that maybe you're doing something or you're going to do something, and just keep always keeping an eye out when you see something that could potentially not be good for you, or to do the stuff that you know is good for you. And also around the making the small changes, not trying to eat the whole elephant all in one go, just pick little bits of skin or a nail or something, and eventually you will get through it. And I think that's important, because a lot of people can get overwhelmed when they think of something like running a marathon or climbing Everest or something like that, and they think of a goal as so big and audacious that they can never achieve it. And I had this with one of my clients, and what we did was we split it up into, I think it was 4 different sub goals, and all of them were part of the main goal, right? And it actually was just getting to where that goal needed to be achieved. And by doing that, that person was able to overcome that obstacle. Whatever, it was only in their personal mind, really. But by splitting it up into, 5-20% tasks, by the time the 4th subtask was finished, they had it in their mind that they were 80% of the way finished. Tiny little ways of thinking that, you just you make it a lot easier for yourself to solve problems. I think that's what we ended up with, Jan, was it?
That's wonderful. I really like this idea of focusing on what is helpful. Thank you so much for that. Will, are the rooms ready? All right, let's go. So the question is what is one thing you would like to achieve, and what's the obstacle you may have in achieving that? So just talking about that obstacle.
Okay, and I'm joining Patty in room 6, and Matthew, you're staying in the main room. And we'll see you in about 8 minutes.
So my Irish friends are big celebrators of St. Patrick's Day, and I don't know, is that something that you celebrate, or does that go?
It is something that we celebrate. To be honest, you guys celebrate it more than we do.
Well, my friends celebrate it more than I do.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like Americans, probably more so than any other race or any other country, they've adopted St. Patrick's Day like they're Irish for a day. Everybody's Irish, which is great. I mean, it's a good promotion for the country.
Yeah, if it's helpful to them. So can you think of a health goal that you'd like to a healthy habit that you'd like to enact within your world?
I think it goes back to the coaching, and the healthy part of that for me is just being able to help people, and being able to try and figure out how I can find those people that are ready, willing, and able to engage, that will create that positive input for me. And that's something that I've been looking at for a while now, trying to figure out what am I going to do next. And the coaching and mentoring and using my knowledge and experience that I've gained over the years to just help people. And the positive reinforcement that that gives me, hopefully they'll appreciate it or they'll see benefit in it. I think that's important for just keeping your head in the right space. And to, like, if shit happens, it happens. You know, once there's good stuff in here, it'll overcome the bad stuff, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. And not only that, it's like I do believe that if you're in a good space, you can be the most effective coach because you're accepting someone wherever they're at on this journey and this progression of life, but also giving them a sense of peace and confidence that they can achieve something that they want to achieve as well. And if they believe that they can achieve this, then now it's just the two of you working together to figure out the quickest path towards that. And so when
You
you're
hit the nail on. It's that kind of calmness that I need to have to be an effective coach will benefit me.
and
And
it takes the pressure off because you're not trying to change anyone. It's allowing them to be wherever they choose to be, but it's also opening up this possibility that, okay, if there's something different that you want, it doesn't mean I'm not going to force you to go someplace that you don't want to go. It's what is it that you want? And then even if you don't know what you want, can we have a discussion and maybe get some clarity around that idea of, okay, maybe we can help you find what you want. And then once you do know what you want, well, is this a possibility? And if it's a possibility, then let's have a discussion on a quick way or a faster way we can get there where it's less effort, less, you don't want it to be difficult. We've all had jobs in our life. We don't want to make this next phase a task or a burden. We want to make it enjoyable.
no, and you mentioned about the obstacles. I don't think there's any. I can't think of any other than me just not doing it. There's no financial obstacle, there's no external force obstacle, and there's no brain freeze obstacle. So I don't really see any obstacle that I really need to even think about because it's just me getting out of the habit of doing nothing for the last 2 years and getting back into some sort of a schedule for looking for new clients and stuff like that.
So there is a thing that's come up for many clients or many coaches that I work with, and that is every once in a while you'll have somebody come in with this really strong judgment. They'll tell you the way you're doing it is wrong or you're not effective. And it's strange because even though in some ways it doesn't matter, it can cause a physical response within your body because I do think that we have this aversion, this biological aversion to judgment or to rejection. And so if somebody comes along and does that, it's realizing that there's a couple things there. With the people that I work with, it's like I'm helping them realize that this is beautiful. You're trying to find these type of people because this is exactly the type of person you don't want to work with.
Well, it's ironic that you say that because the strength of mind to not to when you see that red flag, walk away.
Yes, right. Because
don't try and change them and don't try and
and especially don't try to change yourself because most of the time, if somebody's going to be that complaining type of personality, there's nothing that you can do to make them be agreeable. There's nothing that you can do to make them pleased. They will find fault with whatever you create. And so if they found fault right away, I always one of the things I talk to my people about is instead of saying I'm sorry, right? As a recovering people pleaser myself, that was always something that was difficult for me. Instead of saying I'm sorry, under your breath, without any words, say, "You're welcome."
Mm.
Because if they're going to complain, they're going to complain anyway. So you just gave them something to complain about, and then you can move on with your day.
Well, I think I can figure that out on the introduction calls and just maybe screening people and stuff like that. Not to the point of stalking them, but doing a little bit of a background check. And what about you, Steve?
So for me, the mine is more of a health based goal, and it would be getting a little bit more movement. It's to me, it's routine. So it's building into my routine, some walking and some bike riding and things like that. And I enjoy doing it. It's not
You do
hard.
coaching, right?
I do coaching. I've got a community for the Global Summit events, which is host this event. Um, do some hypnotherapy
You
training. I'm an author, so it
you do
all
walking coaching.
I haven't tried it yet, but we could try that.
Oh, it's something that I have heard people talking about. I actually had an idea about coaching people in cars.
I love that. That's a great
So
idea.
if you're the type of person that you want to say coach executives, they don't have time to scratch their arse.
I love that idea.
So if they're going to a meeting, you get them to pick you up, you coach them on the way there. It's going to be an important meeting. So getting them into a positive attitude, they leave you off. You go, you have a look around, have a coffee, maybe there's a local attraction or something, and then they pick you up after the meeting. And that could be a whole day.
That's
So they
absolutely great. So
they
everybody
could
back. We'll have to put this on the calendar because I think because this is something that is a truth of what I believe we should be talking about is let's build what we do so that it's a force multiplier, so that we're not doing something new, that we're actually combining something that we want to do with something that we already do. And so Matthew was just,
it came from comedians getting coffee in cars, Jerry Seinfeld.
oh, that's great. I love
And
that.
I thought to myself, I had a couple of people in mind that there was no way in the world they'd give me 5 minutes, but they're going to be sitting in their car for an hour or two.
That is genius. So it's this, what we're talking about is this idea of coaching in cars, right? So we were talking about walk coaching, things like that. So it's being creative with what would what would be helpful. So it's combining something we already do with something that we would like to do. So the last question that we're going to be talking about, and Will, if you could mix up the rooms one more time, create the little roll of the Zoom room dice to create some new connections. And I hope you're all having a nice experience. The last question that we're going to go to is, all right, if we achieve this, you know, this thing that we're trying to achieve, this goal that we have within our wellness regiment, what can we do to be more resilient, to practice this, to get better at it? So how can we turn it into a skill so that we'll get better at this and make it part of our regular routine? So how can we turn this into a habit by doing it over and over again? So whenever you're ready, we'll mix it up and jump into the next room. Are you ready, Will? So while Will is doing that, I'm gonna pick on, oh, that we're good. All right, we're good now. So let's go ahead and jump into the rooms.
And Cosmic Whisper, I hope you're able to join the room because I've assigned you. Hi, Michael. And Paul, you're in the main room.
All right. I'm kind of curious what this is like if I did that right.
I don't know what he. Oh, we've got Paul on big screen.
I know it's, I
I'm
know.
I'm out of here.
So,
I'm just
trying to do that, trying to set that
trying.
one.
I'm
Well,
trying to meet someone new. You know, I'm going to say hello to them.
all right, Paul. I think, I don't know that Will knows that he's not muted.
I think Will's having a feast of the time.
How are you, my friend?
Gosh.
There's there's some challenges with the greater number of people. It's just some logistics challenges that I'm hoping that we can kind of go through. But what's are you enjoying, like the breakout rooms and the meeting the new people, and is that something that's a positive experience for you?
No, no, I haven't seen anybody new. I had a nice chat to Miriam, and I just saw Truda, so that was great. Um, and yeah, the experience is good. Yeah, I love it.
It's this idea of, I think we tend to be drawn into the rooms that we're meant to be drawn into. So, um, what was your health goal, or what was your wellness goal that you'd like to turn into a habit? Did you have one? Or
Well, the truth is, I am doing exactly that at the moment. You see, in January, on the 10th of January, I had bilateral groin hernia surgery. And because of previous scarring, I couldn't have laparoscopic. So I've got two new scars, yay me. So, which is great. Um, and before that, I accumulated extra weight and I couldn't exercise. So it was a whole process. And then finally had the op. Uh, then I joined this game, heroic game for February, but I really started exercising in just as soon as I got out of the op. I was like, I got to make myself stronger. I mean, I am quite well versed in anti-aging and integrative medicine. I'm not going to allow this to get any worse. So I found solutions for myself, and yeah, I have been releasing weight really well and shape-shifting and putting on muscle. And the thing that struck me again chatting to people is the friction point often is not the thing they want to do, it is like how big the thing to do the thing is. So and for me, like using examples like, okay, I've got to get X, Y, and Z. I hate long workouts because I can't do it because I get too sore. So I went for shorter workouts. It's like self-care. People also think you have to do self-care for hours when you can do it for like 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And it's this mental repositioning. I mean, it could be my accountant the other day. Like, and I'm going to wait till I get home and then I'll meditate. I said, like, come, let's do one now. It's like shift your mindset. Otherwise, you're going to sit with that pressure on your chest the whole day. You don't need to do that. And so the same with exercise. So I found 10 to 20-minute workouts that I can do standing in my office. So like before I got on, yeah, it's like, okay, it's 22. I can do a 10-minute lightweight workout. No friction. The weight's there. I'm here. It's already set up in the morning on YouTube. So I don't have to go looking for it. I have the screens there. So no friction. Just click, click, click. And I can apply. And that's working a charm.
That is beautiful, because it's this concept of why make it hard on ourselves, and I think you hit it on the head when you said we make it a bigger deal than it really is, and it's breaking it down into what works for us, and being creative with that. So it's like just the way that you did that, you figured out a way to link it into your schedule. So like if you're at your computer, well, you put your workout schedule on, you find one on YouTube.
Exactly. I
So it's
mean, YouTube's amazing. I'm learning Spanish on there, and because I find that I don't like
You
going to
learn
classes.
Spanish. You learn Spanish while you're lifting weights, right?
Sometimes, yeah. There's this one guy, he keeps repeating words over and over. And so, like, I go, okay, either I'm listening to a philosopher's note or I'm going to listen to Spanish. So you stack those habits, you incorporate them, you make it part of your fundamentals every day. I have a checklist. I've spoken to you about the checklist before. Just like, no, I have my checklist, go look there. And okay, no, I haven't done that. Come on. So sometimes the wheels are spinning and I'm not, and then I go, no, and it just kicks in and I'm there and I'm going. And then it's like, come the end of the day, it's like, well, I won at this day. I did it again. That makes me sound like Britney Spears. Oops.
You know, what's funny is the busier I become, the better I am at achieving the habits because it seems as though because what I'll have to do is I'll have to schedule it. You know, if I want to go take a bike ride, I'll block my calendar off and say, okay, I want to go exercise at this time during this day and plan for it because otherwise I'll get a client that'll book at that spot or something else will come up. And if I book it into my calendar, then most likely I will do it because it's like I've already planned for it. And even if I don't do that specific task, I'll do something else related to it, like I'll go for a walk or exercise.
Okay.
But I try to shift my mindset where I don't make this something that I'm forcing myself to do. I think of all of the reasons why I love doing it, right? It's like, so I'm kind of drawn to it. I'm really looking forward to going for this bike ride for just that moment of peace. And just like what you said, somebody sent me a message that they worked in a high-tech position. They sent me a message and said that they're really looking forward for their vacation at the end of the month so that they can relax, right? So they can de-stress and relax. And I thought, well, with the hypnotherapy that I do, it's the Ericksonian hypnotherapy. You can de-stress and relax in any moment, right? All you have to do is connect back to a memory that you were not stressed or that you were relaxed and that you were in this place of flow or joy or whatever it is that your thing is. And most people have had that. That's why they're looking forward to this vacation because they've experienced it at one point in their life. If you can take somebody back to that moment, it changes everything because they can actually relive that moment in their mind. And hypnotherapy is great because it helps with the focus. It helps with making this more real. So your imagination becomes more like reality and you can relive that. And then in many cases, we'll actually use that positive space, that frame of reference to solve real world problems, things that are bothering you. And today we'll take that positive space and solve something else. So, thinking about this, what we're talking about here, we could do the same thing. I mean, it's like, well, what's keeping me from going into that space of riding the bicycle and loving it, enjoying it, and then working on a problem or working on something else that I've wanted to work on. And I think actually I may do that. I'm going to schedule on my calendar right now a time to problem solve and bike ride. So this is like a micro coaching session that you did that you didn't even know you were doing.
They all are all conversations. I love this. What I think that's what I love about coaching, and I love about turning up here, and I love about real connection. Um, you know, talking to people about what they like watching on telly, or I like watching telly, by the way. I like stuff, but if that's the only conversation you can have, so for me, it's like when you can connect and you can make somebody's day, help them see something that they go, oh my God, I can make my day better. Well, that can, because it's this idea, like you're saying, it's easy. Like you can go to memory. I did that the other day with, yeah, I mean, you're aware. So the first thing is like take them back to first establish where they're at, and then take them back to a place where they can go, oh, that's a great place. I can still go there. I mean, it works so well with so many people.
That's amazing. All right, everybody's back. I'm going to unpin you, remove spotlight. This is something that I learned. So if you're in a space where you're recording or something else, you use the spotlight function, and what that will do is it'll lock the people that are speaking on stage, so that as people shift in and out, it won't change your view. So I hope everybody had an enjoyable experience. Do you have to leave? Somebody leaving? Um, Thanks for coming, Ali.
Ollie left. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna do the takeaways. So what was your experience that what was that like for you? What did you have any insights? What was your experience? So Patty, go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta go soon too. Hence, I would like to go first and then stay on until I have to go. Okay. Um, I had three enjoyable conversations, and I think what reinstated for me is how everything is connected. If you, you know, change one habit, it will affect more areas in your life. And the importance of having the right purpose, you know, that you know why do you want to change that habit. That is what will help you. So that was my takeaway.
No, I
Thank
love
you.
that. To have your purpose, to know your why, and to have a reason to change that habit. So thank you for that. MJ, what was your takeaway from today?
I guess it's pretty similar to Patty's. Is it's just reinforcing the idea that everything is connected and how each element of what I'm trying to do, as we were discussing in the first room, is just basically bring a full circle for all the things I'm doing, and just making small incremental steps forward and being okay on those days when, hey, maybe I slip back a little bit, but get back on and just keep plugging on, because eventually it's just going to be all accumulating going forward. So just being okay with when I might slip up and just getting back on track. That's my takeaway.
I love that. It's that idea of being gentle with yourself when, that progressive journey of getting better at it. So, Jan, how about for you? What was your takeaway from today?
I loved something that Ollie shared, and that was about making colorful visuals. So I loved that because I felt like sometimes personally I need to make it more fun. And so that was one thing that I really, really, really loved. And then something else that in one of the conversations we were talking about was this whole idea of, noticing how when you are, so like when you do make a change, like how does that feel for you? Because I think if you identify with how it feels, then you're more likely to continue doing it. If you actually like take a moment to pause and say, okay, well, I did this and this is how I felt. And because then you have more of there's a greater reason.
Oh, that's amazing. It makes me want to be in every room. Paul, what was your takeaway?
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway was remove the friction. If you want to achieve goals, objectives, you want to install habits, remove the friction to installing the habit. Yeah, it just makes it that much easier.
Well, that is absolutely amazing. Miriam, how about for you? What was your takeaway from today?
My takeaway was have small sustainable habits which you can build upon. That's what we discussed with Jan. And the other thing was if something is restricting you, you could have an accountability partner to make things easier. So yeah, those two are my takeaways. Thank you.
That's lovely. And Matthew, what is your takeaway from today?
Change what you can. And it's similar to the other people in smaller bits, maybe, if the size of everything that you want to change maybe seems a little bit too big, and also just do it.
That's
probably more relating to me than the others, but
it's amazing because it's like it reminds me of a huge company, a huge sportswear company that has that same motto.
I didn't steal it.
Are you talking Nike? Just do it.
Right. So, Buckery, what is your takeaway from today?
Thank you very much. My takeaway, I'm gonna highlight some important factors. Again, it goes to my philosophy of life, the power and essence of exploration and the divinity with it. Because I when you asked me last week and today about my goal, and I said to you, it's about exploration. And when we have a sense of exploration, that mindset, we don't have that fixed mindset to say this is what I want, because you miss the opportunity to realize what I discovered today. Connection with great like-minded people, and then a great sense of empathy, create opportunity to understand people's situations, and then you can connect with them and use that story. And that's also when you explore, it create opportunity to have new form of education. And I learned from Mary Jane during the first meet room, and when she shared her story and the challenges in terms of the healthy living lifestyle and the steps that she admitted. So I learned from that, because when you created, Steve, you created this opportunity for us to meditate. But this platform is, for me, is beyond meditation, right? So, and meditation creates opportunities for this new education, this meaningful insight, and with empathy. So that empathy, and then I connected with Crystal. So when we went into the room, I was curious to know about her. I asked a question. She shared her stories that connected with the traumas and everything, how she's dealing with it. So that was a meaningful insight. We've got the same. And then the second one was to the cosmic whispers. The same thing, we connected, same like mindset. So if I had a fixed mindset, I would have said, okay, this is what I want. That's what I'm looking for. I wouldn't have learned from all of these people. It would have been just about me. So I learned from everyone, and a new form of education that I've learned from all of these people. That's why I would say thank you.
That's lovely. And you brought up a good point. If you would, please send me a private message with the person that was most impactful for you today, a takeaway, a compliment, someone that you've met today that was positive in your journey. If you could share that with me in a private message, I will anonymize it and I will send it back to the people and let them know the positive impact that they've had. And we'll put that in the notes for the meeting. So thank you all for that. So, uh, Trude, what was your takeaway from today?
Okay, so that for me, the biggest obstacle is in my mind. So when I do have that obstacle in my mind, find a way to circumvent that obstacle. Do it in a different way. Don't let that obstacle stop you.
Thank you for that. And Jedi trainer Michael, what was your takeaway from today?
From the brief moments I spent with what a lovely soul, that we're all interconnected, and with habits and with a sense of curiosity, with consistency. And it doesn't matter how challenging life gets, but just to keep on doing it was my takeaway.
Oh, that's amazing. And so Miriam had to leave. Farhan, can you unmute and share your takeaway?
Hi, Stephen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Stephen, actually, I came very late. I received the message late, so I just joined when you started the takeaways. And this is actually a topic that interests me a lot. I've been doing a bit of habit coaching myself, but I would really like if I could get access to your maybe a recording or maybe the takeaways from this session. I would love to join you in your next session.
So there's a group on LinkedIn or Facebook, and message me. I'll make sure that you get connected to all the social media platforms that will show. Sometimes it's kind of hard to find, the events and things like that. So, bye, Patty. So it's this idea of if you connect to that, we'll get you connected to the next one. We have these every week. It'll be at 11 Eastern, which is 3 p.m. UTC. We have them on every Wednesday, and And thank you for being here. You actually came in for the gold. I think the takeaways from this is the distilling down of the wisdom from the hour into 10 minutes. Crystal, what was your takeaway from today?
Um, honestly, that well, I already knew that I'm the only thing standing in my way when it comes to changing my habits, and giving myself a little bit more grace was one of the things that both Mary Jane and I both agreed on when it came to it. And making the connections and everything, it helps when you're setting new habits, having somebody hold you accountable was not really something that we really talked about in either of any of the breakout rooms. Kind of when I was with Buckery, we kind of hinted at it when we were talking about educating and things, but honestly having somebody hold like that can hold you accountable when you're trying to form a new habit does help. Like reminds you, hey, did you get that chapter done? Or did you exercise today for 30 minutes? Insert, positive habit that you're trying to form. Having an accountability coach, I guess you could say, is helpful in that sense.
That's
So
wonderful. Thank you for that. And my takeaway is that it's this idea that we see how varied the challenges are and the inspiration is. And if we can tap into that wonderful diversity of what inspires us and realize that we all face similar problems and what, cause us to not achieve what it is that we try to achieve, and simplify it. Just don't make it so hard. Turn it down to the simple steps moving towards the same goal. And I think that we'll all have movement in the direction towards a better life. So thank you all for being here. Next week, we'll be discussing, it's about making a commitment, right? It's recommitting. We're entering into the season of spring. It's that period of growth. We're going to renew our commitment to a healthier life. And it's realizing that, yes, we can make a difference in our own life and possibly even the lives of somebody else. So we will definitely have you welcome to that. We've got our Global Summit events YouTube channel, which is at Global Summit Events. And that'd be YouTube / that's the @ symbol, Global Summit Events. And then you'll be able to see the replays and the other events that are on there. Please subscribe, please connect with the other people that you've met today. Connect with them on LinkedIn or social media. Because that's how we grow. Go ahead, Paul. Did you want to raise your
Stephen, I just got to say, you keep forgetting Will. Last week you forgot Will. Today you forgot Will.
Sorry, well,
Naughty.
I go through. I try to keep the co-host for last because it's like I want to give him a chance to, and then I get flustered because I'm always worrying. And then here's the truth of how suggestible we are. I keep thinking in my mind, I don't want to forget somebody. I don't want to forget somebody. In the way that our mind works is I'm programming myself to forget somebody. It's just the nature of it. So I apologize, Will. I'm going to have you lead the
All right.
takes in the future so that we can avoid this mess.
Paul, my takeaway is today is awareness. Our habits, being aware when our good habits are making us feel good, and also being aware to not be hard on ourselves and let that inner critic take over when we step back from our good habits, and just keeps moving along and letting them continue to form those good habits.
I have a new note for my computer. We will put it on you.
No, Stephen, I shot Paul a message with a laughing face going, he's done it again.
Oh, that's great. And thank you, Paul, for mentioning it. This is how we get better as a team because we hold each other accountable and we help each other where we might forget.
And thank you all for coming along today. And I would like to say, a lot of you have made this a habit, and obviously you've made it a good habit because I love seeing you every Wednesday and you uplift me, and you make what I call Hump Day one of the best days of the week. So thank you all, and thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being here today.